Halorga Kaiphod Comptroller and Auditor General of India CAG kabalawan ra hakadorbar senrai joga ying dorbar thawan gejela kabadangshan kabakdo ya kai rukam penyat pisa kabambet renti nakaliang unoi lam kaliang persa u Dr. Mukul Sangma ubawan nakaseng Meghalaya Trinamool Congress TMC ulapan pau kajing sungokia hakabaya day bot kadinga Kaiphod habakot yigilat pathai kubor saka office rekam jong u kabadan ha all assembly secretariat kabah khandai lat kata hakano phai sngi jong khandai tari unai lor araja arpusau u Dr. Mukul Sangma ulakdo ya ketai ka Kaiphod kum ka red flag daga bapen kesan besan punriu persan na kejingdan jing embaro jong kejela lapendan kam nak bentau ban siu lupa ya kiram kisot ka bapen I baka Sorkar jela ka Shim ram shibon ban siu ya kiram ki bamenswa.
Every CAG report has to be tabled in the August House, be it in the Parliament or be it in the legislature. So that the attention of all concerned are drawn. But here again, based on the effective ways and means of ensuring accountability from all those authorities who are given the mandate to utilize their power and responsibilities towards spending resources from public exchequer for the public good. The concerned authorities, particularly the concerned departments, respectively have to take cognizance of the observations of the CAG report and make a suo motu response within a specified time. That is what has been one of the observations made by the Public Accounts Committee in respect of Meghalaya. That is something which we started in 1993, that the departments were given an opportunity to have a suo motu response to every observation and the report thereof of the CAG. Therefore, we expect every department to comply because that's a binding responsibility. And if you again understand, the Public Accounts Committee also take cognizance of this report and then take upon itself the responsibility of really verifying the facts and what is the intent. Intent is for ensuring that any irregularity or lapses whatsoever might have been detected, then accountability is fixed. Because accountability is integral part of the responsibility who are privileged to be in the helm of affairs of governance, who are vested with the power. Power by virtue of the mandate of the law. Therefore, these are all again sacred responsibilities. Therefore, the government of the day also has its sacred responsibility. The sanctity of the very responsibility towards protecting the interests of the people and protecting the interests of the state. Now we refer all this, in a simple term, these responsibilities are on behalf of the people in our given democratic system. We talk about the money which is in the government exchequer as the public money. That is the nomenclature. Why? Because you and I, all the people of the state, are the collective honor. Therefore, it is called public money. Therefore, we talk about our responsibility towards public interests, towards the interests of the state, towards the interests of the people as a whole. Now, I am quite should I say I'm amazed or I'm a little surprised, because I didn't expect the government to be really trying to beat around the bush to divert the narrative and engage in a few explanation which is completely which is a reflection of their complete desperation of changing the narrative based on what otherwise would have been a narrative on truth. If you look at the very commitment of the CAG, what is it written? Dedicated to truth in public interest. So that is why I say that the whole exercise, exhaustive exercise undertaken by all concerned to compile all these reports after minute analysis of everything in detail vis-a-vis implementation of program versus the actual allocation of fund and the outcome of the desired end result, of the programs. They are all meticulously examined, analyzed, and they compile the reports. There's a formula, there's a mechanism, there is a methodology which has withstood the test of time, you see. So therefore, rather than trying to be on a denial mode, which has become the usual practice and the modus operandi of the government of the day under the present incumbent leadership, I think public need to know. It is available before the people. People must be given the chance to really engage in narrative, and the departments, respective departments, will respond. There's a mechanism already set.
Nalor kata ulang, baka Sorkar ka day ban Shim ka jingkit kliat na kabenta ka jingpanan kam Meghalaya ka pisa kumbala penpau haka Kaiphod. Shosho Dr. Mukul sangma ula kado ya ka an jong Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management FRBM ban penpau ya ka jingdon kam jong ka jingpanyat bet ya ka pisa tingka.
You are all aware of the FRBM Act, Meghalaya FRBM Act. Our fiscal fundamentals are strong. It is because over the years we have demonstrated our sense of responsibility as lawmakers, as people who are privileged to be in the hand of affairs of governance. Therefore, by virtue of the realization of our own responsibilities, based on the mandate of the Constitution, over the periods of time, we have come up with a number of initiatives, including legislation to ensure fiscal discipline, the financial discipline, in respect of the spending of scarce resources from the public exchequer. Now, if you go by this very legislation in respect of the state of Meghalaya, which is referred to as Meghalaya FRBM, Fiscal FRBM, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management, FRBM. BM is Budget Management Act. Fiscal Responsibility, FRBM, Budget Management Act. If I engage in jargon, then people will not know, because this is a usual trend of everyone in the government to engage on those jargons so that people will not know. If I say FRBM, people will wonder what is that FRBM. So I'm giving one by one, the full form of this abbreviation. Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2006. Then what is this act? This act is designed not only for the state of Meghalaya, FRBM Act, both for union government and all the state governments. Because we need to ensure that though we may be influenced by external forces or any other forces, the greed, personal greed, or whatever, this act will protect the interests of the state, interests of the people. Based on these, every government has to prepare and place its budget, statements. The statement will indicate the targets, the different indicators which are required to be achieved to ensure that, yes, we are in the right track, we have not deviated from whatever was required for the government of the day to ensure fulfillment, rather to avoid deviation from the structured mandate as per the law. Now you look at the failure of the government to adhere to this mandate of the law, which is again a binding responsibility of the government. So that will indicate to the people whether the truth is being suppressed by them by not actually looking at what are the indicators. I have always mentioned, even in the inside the House, while we have done presentation of the budget, replying to the extensive, exhaustive budget discussion, when I had the privilege of leading the government and also leading the finance department. What are those indicators? The indicators are to look at what is the debt, the outstanding is to the GSDP ratio. That will give you an indication about the fiscal health of the state. And therefore, these are the indicators which are required to be set as target. Then another one is the fiscal deficit. What is the total fiscal deficit that you allow the state to embark upon? And how do you ensure synchronization between the debt GSDP ratio and the fiscal deficit? You cannot have different targets which do not synchronize to achieve these indicators. Now, I will tell you one thing. I question the government when they were coming up with these revised target in respect of the fiscal deficit target and the target set in respect of the debt GSDP ratio. It'll be quite surprising for you when I refer to this, and I say that this is an anomaly. This is an anomaly, and it is a reflection of lack of sincerity. Lack of sincerity to ensure fiscal discipline. That means there is a mala fide intention from the very beginning. This is something which I have referred as in the past as a well-scripted modus operandi. Now there are multiple modus operandi vis-a-vis where they engage in illegalities and irregularities. Whether it is in respect of illegalities in respect of coal mining, whether it is in respect of all their illegalities towards appointment for filling up the vacancies, all these things. Now let us look at the table, which is a reflection of the need for adhering to the provisions of Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2006 or failure to adhere to this requirement. The projected targets for compliance with the provisions of FRBM Act 2006 in respect of fiscal deficit, let us confine to only this, because going beyond will again create unnecessary dilution of the main focus where I am going to actually stress. I will stress only on fiscal deficit and the outstanding liabilities vis-a-vis the GSDP ratio, or in other words, the debt GSDP ratio, which I have always referred to whenever I presented the budget and whenever I replied for the post-budget discussion. Now, you look at 2018 and 19 onwards, the fiscal deficit target set, because earlier during our time, before the amendment of the FRBM Act, there was an amendment. Subsequent amendment was resorted to by the present government also. And that is what I'm saying. They have amended certain portion in order to create these provisions for them to borrow more. Borrow more. So they say that, oh, it is allowed, it is allowed. I'm telling you, both government of India have also, to a great extent, have not examined it properly and have agreed. That's why they piggy right on the government of India sometimes. But fiscal discipline is a fiscal discipline. If there is a deviation from fiscal discipline, it doesn't mean that only state government may be deviating from the fiscal discipline. It may be union government also who is also deviating from the fiscal discipline. Now, let us be really frank on this. Now, what is the target in 18-19 in respect of fiscal deficit? 3.25. Okay, what is the actual? 6.3. Huge deviation. Then, if you go by 1920, target is 4.35. It has crossed 4. Whereas during our time it was 3. We never went beyond 3 in respect of the compliance that was required to be ensured by the government in sync with the Meghalaya FRBM Act 2006. Then you will see the revenue target for 2021 is 5.25. You cannot imagine from 3 you go to 4, then you go to 5. That is what I'm referring to as a modus operandi. Then you go down again after completing 5.25 target. You go down to 4, and that also I have never seen it that it is not indicative of a set single target. It is 4-4.5. What is this? Then for 20 to 23, it is 4. Let us now get to the debt GSDP ratio. Now, if you are setting your fiscal deficit at 4, you need to also understand that this fiscal deficit will have naturally and automatically a bearing on the debt GSDP ratio. It cannot be calculated in isolation. It has, the influence over each other. If you are borrowing and your total asset is X, your debt and GSDP ratio will naturally change. So you look at when they have set the target of debt GSDP ratio at 28. Now it is 28 for 18-19, 28 for 19-20, 28 for 2021, 28 for 21-22. The target set for achieving this debt GSDP ratio, or otherwise the outstanding liabilities is to GSDP ratio, is fixed at same target 28, 28, 28, 28. But your fiscal deficit target is in variation. So this itself is a reflective of lack of comprehensive understanding and due diligence in respect of fiscal management.
Habatin, page bahagi kishap, kashap plus F.
Ka plus F?
Hakabam bangibam dunaki eki bataye kamet. Namar kata habathiru atau kau kamlu ka umpnyang kadut pet ya ka sharp plus F ha ka jingsom. Yaki nutrient kum ki vitamin bat ka iron la icon diat bat ka bathau bha kam kata I ka dur jing ki marbam ka jing mat lani ka rukom shed yaki. Balehi banai kita. Ka don ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan. Ka kot ka kia. Ka nutrition ba khambha ka jing im ba khambha pendon kam daki marba modon ka sharp plus F menta kasni.
Lawan Ra Shafi Lingba ko office jong Commissionerate of Food Safety Meghalaya.